Welcome to Basically Sci, the short story podcast with stories you can basically call sci-fi. I am Adam, who is doing a story this week.
I'm Jared, who is not going to be doing a story this week.
And I'm Todd, but I'm going to be listening to a story this week.
And I hope
I might do that too.
I hope y'all got your listening ears on. This story is a little bit different from the last week. Last week had some goofs, some good goofs, and this one has some other jokes in it as well.
Oh,
I think
really
I'm coming at this
from
the other end of Basically Sci-Fi, because Basically Sci-Fi is a comedy show with stories you can call sci-fi, and I write sci-fi that you could basically call comedy. Maybe.
I do appreciate you bringing some of the hard sci-fi to this. It gives us a bit more cred.
With all the accidental phallic imagery I use, I do bring some hard sci-fi to this.
You never know. I thought that...
No, I'm hard.
Bringing that hard to the hard sci-fi. You never know. I really thought that a couple episodes ago was not that funny an episode, but you guys were chuckling it up, and then my last one I thought was real funny, and it was, I didn't get the reaction I wanted, but...
It was all funny. I was listening really hard.
Please, the phallic imagery, Adam. Cut it out for a second.
Why do you always bring it up when it's my turn? Also, in other news, I'm running off of mobile data right now because I just moved. Moved into Ikebukuro in Tokyo.
That's so crazy, because... when you tell people we live in Japan, they'll be like, oh, where do you live? Tokyo. As if they know anywhere else.
I should say, no, I live in Toshima.
Most Americans know of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh, there's that too, I guess.
Yeah, but, I can't live there.
And Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, you don't want to turn into some radioactive mutant.
No, it's mostly just about the shame.
Apparently, Hiroshima is like a real nice place right now. Like people go, it's real nice. It's not a wasteland.
Oh yeah, I mean, aside from the coronavirus,
I suppose they got to look good now compared to Fukushima. So.
But just like oh yes, hello, I live in Hiroshima. Oh, and oh yeah, I'm American. I'm sorry. Anyway,
that'd be stressful, constantly apologizing.
That never comes up. I had one woman who was, in her 90s, and she remembers bombs dropping. I think Adam's met her too, right?
Yeah, I've met her.
And here she is, like, learning English and not holding anything against anyone.
That lady, though, went to, school on a fucking steam train, and she's got some stories.
She does. She's amazing.
Anyway, besides that change, I don't think there's any other housekeeping. So, let's just jump right into some hard sci-fi.
Give it to me, baby.
Now, let's see, where is the start of this? I'm just writing the whole thing in one giant, long file.
What?
Yeah. I don't break the stories up into different documents. It's just one almost 4,000 word long document now.
Oh, that is a mistake. Yeah, that is a mistake.
I prefer simplicity over organization.
Yeah.
I mean, is that simple though? It's fewer documents, but it's putting them all in one.
It's less
You want to know the word count tells you how long your story's going to take to read and how much more you really should write and when you should cut it off.
Oh, have we been doing that?
I mean, it's a trick of the trade you pick
Todd
up.
talks about it all the time, but I don't do it. I put all of my stories into Notepad, which, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have a word counter.
Oh right, you got to pay for Microsoft Word, which I don't use either. I have a writing app on my tablet.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably get one of those, but
I don't know. I think it cost me a few bucks, but I'm like, well, I'm gonna get back into screenwriting, so I'm gonna need something to write screenplays on.
All right, we're good to go. I've found my thing. I've put little dots on the document to separate the stories anyway. Last time we left our hero, if you could basically call him a hero,
I think he can.
Yeah, just in case y'all forgot, because I know it's been a while.
Is he a white guy?
Heroes don't have to be heroic.
I actually don't know.
What?
I know he's got this...
responding to him being a white guy.
He looks like Gaston, insofar as chins.
I mean,
but that's the only part of his character that I've visualized so far.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I didn't mean for that really to get picked up on. I was just like, well, he's a hero in a story, so.
He was just trying to be casually racist. You thought too much about it.
I thought too. That's my problem. I think too much about it.
I mean, I was then going to go on and go, and he is male, right? So
he's a wasp.
I think that makes him a hero.
I also have to quickly make him Protestant. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Anyway, last
Gibson's
time,
new movie.
Mel Gibson is making movies.
Yeah, don't Google it.
I won't.
Yeah, he's making a sequel to the Jesus movie he made.
Sequel to Passion of the Christ?
Passion of the Christ, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know what happens at the end of that movie. And there's no way there can be a sequel.
Yeah, I think so.
Look, I've said before that as I was watching it, and, I'm a devout atheist, but I was watching it going man, I like this character. I really hope he pulls through.
Did he?
See, personally, I think it's really cheap when you kill your characters off, and, I don't know, man, just, killing them off at the end, the spoiler alert.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
I mean, he took that one L, but he did come back.
But then he dies again.
Superhero route, and he's just bringing him back.
It's like when they fake out killed. Never mind. I'm not going to ruin any other stories, any other movies.
Right. They used the Green Lantern ring, and the Green Lantern ring brought him back to life.
And then Superman punched his heart out.
Green Lantern's heart.
No, Superman rips off Green Arrow's arm. I know that. In one story. Anyway. Slice and dice, Batman don't shiv. Let's get started. So, our boy had dipped his testicles into the waters of purity. He assaulted the... he didn't really assault her. He just kind of put his hand through her. The Holy Mother, and the frogs are pissed. So, let's see what happens this week. He's been thrown into a pit with some... I see I've written here, buck wild bullshit. So, picking up from where we left off. The stone behemoth roared. It was deafening. Its breath unnaturally hot. Buck Peters didn't have time to consider that, the fact that rocks don't breathe and all. He turned and leapt from the boulder just in time to miss a craggy fist slam right down where he was just standing.
Oh, God.
I know. I'm scared. He landed in something wet and cold, splashing as he stumbled his way away. His way away. That's not...
Is it written like that?
It was written like that, and I didn't catch that I had wrote, he stumbled his way away from the boulder beast But I like the sound of it.
Yeah.
Behind him, he could hear the Arbiter pound on the boulder in its way. Lucky thing. Hopefully, it would last long enough. Wham! Buck stumbled. Wham! Grabbing for rocks. Wham! His feet were moving, hands elbow deep. He fumbled through an ever-widening pond. He'd dropped the torch some time before into the brackish nonsense. Well now. Wham! Buck Peters wasn't one to wham! Run from responsibility. He'd even managed to survive a fall from orbit. Granted that he did, in fact, hide in the cupboard in the bathroom to avoid being caught up in some bullshit that didn't concern him. The boulder broke, and Buck found himself meters from a problem, and face to face with something that did in fact concern him. And he ran. Buck started wading through an incline of something, going down. The faster he ran, the deeper it seemed to go. With no light.
Oh, God.
Yeah, with
That's
no
dangerous.
light. Yeah, just running in some liquid shit. And he's getting deeper.
In the dark?
Yeah, in the dark. With a thing behind you.
And
Man.
spiders?
No spiders, not yet.
Oh, okay.
The dark can't kill you, but a big angry rock monster can. The part he was on now seemed smooth. He ventured a step or two off the straight line from his path as he waded through the miasma. He was almost neck deep now in whatever it was. He neglected to check or see that or smell it or anything. The colossus behind him was gaining on him, unencumbered by this liquid. He could hear it slam its way through everything. Wham! A footfall came down just 3 meters away. Wham! Buck found the water was getting shallower as he progressed. Everything was coming up now. The liquid fell away to his waist, and he had a second to turn on his Omni gear. The orange light illuminated a stone dais. Or dais. Dais?
Omni gear?
Yeah.
Daises.
Yeah, dais. I'm a dais. I think it's a dais, and I'm going to start saying it like that, and that's just how I'm going to keep saying it. A stone dais coming out of the pool. It seemed more smooth than the rest of the gorge floor, and he looked down and disgust overcame him. He tried to keep his stomach down to no avail. Bile filled his mouth and he vomited into a pool of blood.
Ugh.
His clothes were stained and soaked through. The putrid blood rippled in the Omnigear light. As Buck stood there in place. What new hell is this, he thought. Things had gone from mediocre to bad. First crashing from orbit, a fall that would surely kill anyone, and then the frogs, and now this. It felt to Buck like the universe was testing just how far his bad luck could go. He could hear the steady footsteps of the Goliath coming, so Buck ran like a duck. He had to yank his feet up as he moved along, the pool giving him considerable resistance. Dignity was not what he needed right now. He barreled through the shallowing blood, and the water came up to meet a flat section of rock that he leapt onto. Before him lay a stone arch, 3 meters tall, and almost the width of the gorge. He ran right through it. Right into a wall. He could feel no way through, his orange light dimly illuminating the stone archway behind him and the flat wall before him. Ah, dead end, huh? That's corny. Buck turned to the archway.
It's also very, I don't know, just literal, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very literal, but he's also, not very smart.
He's so optimistic, though. Things were mediocre, and now he's just worried about how corny his situation is.
Well, yeah, I mean, wouldn't you? I don't want to die in a corny way.
That is my greatest fear.
Alright, where was I?
That's
okay.
Spiders. That's why I was concerned with the spiders earlier.
Fucking goddamn spiders. The shape of the Colossus loomed just beyond sight. the stone archway began to glow. Inner blue light illuminating from the runes that were carved along its surface. And the runes inscribed within Buck's own stone club also began to glow. In the blue light, he could more clearly see the rock beast now. Its surface was etched in the same sharp, jagged runes as the archway and his club, glowing faintly as it neared. It stepped onto the landing, and Buck felt like this was as good as any of a spot to make his stand. He ran at it like a madman. Back through the archway and onto the landing. It swung at him and he ducked, moving in closer. The chunky fist slammed into a wall, dust and rock coming free. Buck dodged aside as the fist came down, another step closer. Another duck, sidestep, roll. He came up within kissing range, and he whacked the beast right in the fork. "Ha!" he shouted. "Gotcha right in the stones!" Nothing happened. Major disappointment filled him. The beast's foot came up, and Buck jumped back as his foot somehow snagged. And his foot somehow snagged on the smooth floor, as happens to everyone sometimes, and it's not embarrassing. Buck tripped on nothing and fell backwards into the arch. And then he noticed something odd. He turned his head and found the center of the archway was something black and blue, like a bruise on the skin of reality. Black misty void was growing in the middle of the archway. The beast made to punch Buck right through that arch, but its fist stopped right in the air before his face. The beast drew back again and swung, and it stopped about an inch from his nose and total probably a foot away from the stone. Buck scrambled around the arch and put it between himself and the beast, and it stood there, just doing nothing, just standing, exactly a foot away from the arch, with the black mist growing ever larger until it filled almost the entirety of the arch. The monster roared into the void beneath the archway and began pounding the ground. Buck was fucking pissed. He tightened his grip on the club. Wham! Another earth-shattering pound of its fist. Buck pulled back, and he threw the club through the archway. The club seemed to accelerate as it left his hand and approached the arch. The club sped up as it neared the gate, finally passing through in a dazzling brilliance. It left the gate as a blur, slamming right into the arbiter's chest, pulverizing it in an instant. The rocks fell to the ground, and the weird green light had gone out of them. The collision, at ludicrous speed, shattered the rock monster into the smallest of pieces, save for a chunk of its head.
Ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed. I also wanted to make the monster plaid, but that didn't work out. White light
references.
White light filled the gorge as shrapnel gouged lines into the smooth stone walls. Ears ringing, he blinked away the whiteness that filled his vision. Slowly, he could see the blue light again, a pile of rocks, and then the gorge, and the black mist. It was tumbling out of the fissure in the air now. Being stuck behind this arch was not something Buck really wanted, so he squeezed back around the side between the arch and the wall. There didn't seem to be any way for him to turn off whatever it was. No terminal, no buttons on the floor. Nothing. Good science was all about answering questions you have answers for and ignoring ones you don't. And he had no answer for this, so he ignored it. He looked a bit closer into the pool. Science!
It's such a straight voice. I'm like, I was having trouble, like, yeah, wait, that makes sense. Wait, no.
Yeah, that's how science is. Basically, if you know the answer, then you know the answer. And if you don't, It's not important. Yeah. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Tut. There it is. He looked a bit closer at the pool now, and he was shocked to find little froggy skeletons piled all along the walls of this gorge. All smashed up and broken. It filled him with a great sadness. The froggos were kind of adorable, after all. In the moist sense of the word, if you could overlook the whole penis thing.
Wait.
What? It's established canon, they don't wear clothes.
Yeah. Right, yeah, but...
Yeah.
Moist adorable.
Moistly adorable.
Sometimes I have to clarify when I say my dog is adorable, and I'm like, but not moist, you know?
But not moist. Most moist things are in fact not adorable. And frogs are, though. Where? Buck picked up the fractured remains of the rock monster's head. He felt like it was important, somehow. The blue light had gone out of it, but he kept it anyway. Started wading back through this mess, taking care to breathe through his nose, not his mouth. It's not that he was a mouth breather or anything, but he didn't want to catch froggy hepatitis. From blood. It's a bloodborne disease.
Okay. All right.
At the other end, there was something he hadn't noticed before. The crumpled body of a fresh froggo with a stone spear. The spear had been shattered. Buck waded out of the blood and squatted down to inspect it. It had nothing on but a necklace made from stone in the shape of a triangle, threaded with whatever weird vine the froggos used. In the center was one rune, a diamond shape with a straight line bisecting it vertically. It glowed slightly blue down here in the dark. Sorry, buddy, but I don't think you'll be needing this as much as I do. So it's not stealing. I'll bring it right back if I can, so please don't haunt my bones. Necklace in one hand, stone skull in the other. Buck walked back to the floating stone disc, climbed on it, and rose back up to the froggos. Please clap. Yeah.
Oh man.
I wanted to get the fight scene, like the fight and the kind of that encounter. I want to get that out of the way because the next one is going to go back to being dialogue heavy. This one was action. Yeah.
No, I
got to do that boss fight.
I think there may have been like 3 jokes. So sorry.
Well, 3 intentional ones.
I'm still not really clear on why he was not comfortable with breathing through his mouth.
Because he was
fine with breathing through his nose.
Neck deep.
He's an idiot.
He's an idiot. Also, he's neck deep in blood.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why when you wear a mask to protect from coronavirus, it just has to cover your mouth and not your nose.
It just covers your
exactly,
mouth.
Yeah. You didn't know that shit? That's some science.
I mean, that's why you see people all over the place, with it not covering their nose, because it's not uncomfortable and also not practical.
I feel like it's more uncomfortable to cover just only your mouth with the mask.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I want to go on asking Jared about people wearing masks in America, but also...
It's terrifying. Yeah, no, you don't want to know.
But, yeah, I was waiting for the payoff on what is this liquid he's wading through.
It's just blood.
A bit heavy-handed with the foreshadowing that it's not water, like... And I'm like, oh, okay. what is it gonna be? And then, yeah, dead Froggos everywhere and blood everywhere. Oh, man.
Yeah. And a stone monster and a glowing bullshit, and now there's the Black Void.
Deus Ex Machina and...
Yeah, the Deus Ex Machina! Well, I mean...
That is going back to the, it's not gravity, magnetism, the magnetism prompt.
Yeah.
That's back to the magnetism thing.
What about...
Which, I can dig that.
So this mechanism is something that the Froggos had previously used before the stone monster to, make things magnetic.
To pulverize sprouts?
Yeah, to polarize, like, stones and stuff.
But that's what I was wondering. I'm like, okay, hold on. So this classical Jewish golem just killed the Froggos. Did the Froggos create the golem?
See, now those are some questions.
Yeah. So...
that I have an answer to.
Golem. Okay. Oh, man, I'm just going to have to wait to find out.
Well, I mean, I could spoil the story, I guess, but I mean...
No,
if I spoil the story, then I can just go and write a whole new one.
The point I'm getting to is that you effectively placed the question in my mind.
Good.
Yeah. So that was good.
Also, they call the thing the Arbiter, right? So...
Well, the narrator did.
Yeah. Well, also the Froggo did.
Yeah.
The Froggo did too? Okay,
Yes.
I kind of missed that part.
Let's see, if I scroll back up to the previous... See, that's why it's so good to just have them all in one document. Oh, yeah.
You got me. You won me over. I'm going to start doing that too. Also in Notepad.
Notepad? This is like the most minimal setup I've ever heard of. Anyway.
Just one straight line from left to right.
I hope that works. It might actually work out better. And I hope y'all enjoyed a little bit of hard sci-fi with some hard rocks in it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, I forgot to say his iconic line. I'll save it for a more opportune moment, I guess. I'd written a snarky thing for him to say, because he does that at the end of every episode, right?
Oh.
And I skipped
well,
it.
Then give it to us now.
Give it to us now? Alright.
Yeah.
Buck pulled back. He threw his club through the archway. Fast forward, the thing explodes. Buck says, "Go buck yourself."
Okay.
That's it. He's really hunting for he's hunting, not me, not me, the narrator.
Yeah.
Him himself, he's hunting for a catchphrase.
Yeah.
It's in the fiction.
There was one point in the story, and I actually had to make a note to myself, and it was, oh man, I can't believe he didn't say, "I'm not bucking around."
I'm stealing that shit. Trademark.
Because you said he wasn't, and my mind auto-texted bucking around, and then you didn't say it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I just kept thinking of Kill Bill.
Right?
Like, my name is Buck, and I'm here to fuck.
What?
Yeah, I mean...
Oh.
Have you never seen Kill Bill?
No, now I've got to, if it also has some Buck jokes in it.
Oh, well...
just very briefly at the beginning of the first one.
Thankfully, you don't have to watch...
Named Buck,
I can just lift that whole cloth.
No, hold on. Jared, say that one more time. I want to hear Adam's reaction to catching that. Who is Buck?
There's a character named Buck who fucks coma patients.
Oh, no! No! But also knows that they're asking for it. So.
Okay.
If they weren't asking for it, they would be wearing that hospital gown.
Welcome to the Tarantino Reaction Podcast.
From a 10-year-old movie. older than that. Even
Oh,
now.
yeah. You know, I watched Kill Bill 2 in high school with that girl who I should not have been hanging out with. No. What's her name? Her whole family went to the same school at the same time.
Oh, even her dad?
Yeah.
Anyway, as all good things must, this has come to an end, and I hope you look forward to next week's science adventure.
I only knew it was coming to an end because you told me before that you wanted to end a story with "Please clap." So I knew that was the end of the story, but
I did think it was a character talking.
Right.
No,
I did not clap.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I apologize for that.
no worries. All right. So, see ya.
please clap.
Like, comment, and subscribe, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe. Find us on YouTube if you can. I'm not going to tell you the URL.
At SoundCloud for the next week or so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Later,
Bye.
nerds.